Okay, so thank you so much for checking back on Grozio Art. In the past few days, I've had some time, and I wanted to go ahead and get back into the Ghostbuster Proton Pack project. And out of everything that's here, the last piece that I had to do was the bumper, and the bumper is actually a very complicated piece. So I had to find a way to make it simpler to build, but it is the last structure that I have to do. It's the last structure that I have to build in order to go ahead and just complete the look. So what I did was I got some cardboard and using my iPad here, I went ahead and found some references to what the bumper is supposed to look like. So I was using these pictures. Can't show them, I guess, on YouTube for copyright reasons, but generally, I was looking at this general search here on my iPad and just getting a basic rough idea of what the bumper is going to look like. Now, you would say, well, how the hell are you going to build that? It's such a different structure. It's very irregular. This is very smooth and curvy, while this is, has angles in it. And then this is a little bit thinner than this, and has a square on it. So how the hell are you going to do that? So what I did was I just decided to go ahead and make it easy on myself. And I got a piece of cardboard. I went ahead and did the measurements from here to here using two little things to measure the distance. And I went ahead and in order to start building, I went ahead and got the profile, and I'm going to start on the profile. Now, when I originally did it, I did it backwards, and it doesn't go like this. It kind of goes like this, which is no problem because I can easily just flip it around. So that's no big deal. And actually, this process kind of reminded me of my mother. She was a seamstress, or is a seamstress, or was a seamstress, yeah. And similar to making a dress, you make a bunch of patterns, put those patterns together, and those patterns are made out of paper, cardboard, and you use them as a reference. You put that on fabric, and then you cut the pieces out, and you stick the pieces of fabric together, and you make a dress. So here, I got the general shape of what the bumper is going to look like, and if I measure it, it will fit perfectly right there. And it does move around a little bit, but you see where the bumper is going to go. So obviously this is just one piece of cardboard. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get some wood right here. Okay, this is a balsa wood or basswood, and it's very lightweight, but it's very dense and solid, but it's lightweight. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this pattern, and I'm going to I'm going to put this here and trace it out. And then I'm going to go cut it out. And then I'm going to get another piece of wood and do it all over again. And that's where our thickness is going to come from. And then later on, I'll just go ahead and do the legs, which I think we're going to need 4 of those, and super glue everything together. So we're going to go ahead and see if that works or if it doesn't work. I think it will. And we'll go ahead and get right to it. So let's get to that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and trace this the best way possible. I think I'm going to get another piece. Now, typically I would use a bigger piece of, a wider piece of wood so I can just trace out this whole thing, but I don't have a wider piece of wood. And I don't feel like going to the store to go get some more. So I'm just going to go ahead and see how this works out. And then I know that the legs have to be at least 6 inches. So using that as a reference, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the arch, since the arch is what's going to be the most complicated piece. So I'm just going to line that up. Okay, and I will start tracing. And it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to have that general shape. We could always sand it down later and get it perfect in the end. Just make sure it hasn't moved. Okay, and that is our general piece. So let's go ahead and cut it. Okay, so I got my trusty bandsaw here. I had to transport it from where I used to live to where I am now. And I am ready to cut, so this should be quick and easy. Okay, so this is our piece. As you can probably saw, there were some mistakes where I accidentally cut in here. This one didn't come out so straight. And the problem is that there is no problem because we have epoxy sculpt, so we can easily fill in those areas. See those bad areas right here and make it smooth again. So that's no big deal. Even parts that don't appear straight will become straight once we sand it down. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. You know, if it was made out of paper, we can just do it all over again. But even with something as dense and hard as wood, it's easy to go ahead and correct those mistakes. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, and anything can be fixed. So that's no big deal. Let's go ahead and cut the other piece. Okay, so now we have our second piece, and the only thing we're going to do is to sand them down together to make sure that they are the same shape. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and make the thickness, which I think it should be pretty much that thick. Yeah. So maybe about an inch and a half total maybe. And just to make sure everything is good, I'm going to take the best one that's cut and put it right about here. I'm sorry, go this way. Put it like this and it will fit. Perfect. Just like the, now we still need the legs obviously, but I think it'll be just fine. It's going to be a tight fit, but that's fine with me. Yeah. So the bumper basically, it's going to be like this. And that's going to form the bumper that goes that way. So you can see it like that. And it's also going to get painted. So and the legs, or the part that goes down here, that's going to be attached. So this whole thing's going to be removable. So the bumper is going to be taken off. The legs are going to have magnets on them. So the magnets go here in this area. Just to show you what I'm talking about. So if it hits here, I'm going to put some magnets here and inside the legs here so that it'll connect. And that comes off. And then for the electronics, we're going to take off the dome, and that's also going to be with magnets, a ring of magnets here and a ring of magnets on the underside so that they can connect to each other, and we can reach the electronics that will eventually go here and in here. I might have to make that bigger, I don't know yet. So tell me what you guys think. Okay guys, so what I did right now is that I just finished the first wooden set. As you can see, that's where I went ahead and stuck the pieces together. Right there. And this is going to be the first on this side, and the point of this video is to prove that with good measurements, this will fit perfectly here. There it is. And if that fits, that means the second one that I'm making right here is also going to fit. Okay. And right now I'm still trying to determine the thickness of it. But so far it looks pretty good and it looks pretty solid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a headshot of what it's going to look like, or what it's supposed to, how thick it's going to be. And you can pretty much see that that's how it's going to look. So I'm going to go ahead and build the thickness of it now. Okay. Okay, so here it is more or less complete. I went ahead and did the union, and I got the width more or less correct, so it's going to be that thick. Okay, but it's one solid piece now. Okay, so the thickness pretty much like that. Okay, and this is the top part, this is the bottom, and I've stuck everything together with super glue, and it's pretty strong. And the way it's going to go is the dome goes here, and this goes over the dome, and it's going to hide the lights a little bit. Well, actually a lot, but that's the way it goes. I want to go ahead and give you guys a headshot so you can see how it looks from the top. So the original Ghostbuster pack does have the lights hidden a little bit because of the bumper, and the ones that are more exposed are the ones that are on top. So these are more or less in the right direction. So they're a little mine are a little bit more hidden than the original, but we are in the right measurements. And actually I'm thinking, because the bumper was going to be originally, I thought, to have magnets here that would hold it in place. And even though I can still do that because I can carve into the yellow and gray and carve into this part here and set magnets inside, or I can just glue it as of right now, because even though I glue it, there's still sufficient leeway here, and especially over here. It's a big gap over here. So this cut offers me a lot of room to go ahead and lift, still be able to lift, turn to the side, and pull out the dome when I want to go ahead and go for the electronics that are going to be underneath there. So I'm considering doing the magnets or sticking it on there. Now, regardless of what I do here, I'm still going to need the magnets for the dome. So I'm going to have to think that through, but I do have to finish the cover here. So this joint right here and this joint right here, this one, the metal, this wood joint right here, it's what's giving firmness to this whole structure. This is going to be completely flat because it is supposed to be one piece, and then we dip into about 1/4 of an inch here, and that's where we start our surface. So 1/4 of an inch inside, we go all the way up, and it curves and it stops here, and then right on the other side of this plate, because this is going to be a plate, we go 1/4 of an inch inside, start our surface. It's going to be angled, and all the way down to the bottom, 1/4 of an inch about, and then on top of this is going to be like a cone or a cylinder made of discs, and on top of that a screw, and then all the decals are going to go. Of course, in going with the motif of the emergency motif with black, yellow, and gray, the bumper is going to be exactly like the one in the movie, but I'm going to paint it differently so you can appreciate the shape of it, because it does have, like the original, a very interesting shape and contour, but because everything is painted black, you don't get to appreciate all the different shapes and all the different contours that are on the original design. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So my next video This should be completed. I'm going to go ahead and finish sanding all the rough edges here, and I'm going to give it a final coat, and it should be done. It should be done. That's pretty much all we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and start doing the paint job once everything is sanded down. And we can do the final paint job. And obviously, the magnets are going to go on that dome. And we should be done. That's pretty much it. And then after that, time permitting and money, we will get started on the electronics. But we are 95% done. It's not well painted. Obviously, I'm experimenting with paints, but in the color scheme, because I don't want it all black. I want color and texture. I want you to appreciate the shape that this thing has. But yeah, we are 97% done. Okay, we just need to clean it up. This was the last structure that I had to complete. We do need a cylinder in this area right here. But yeah, we are 95% done. I'm going to go ahead and put the logo on top of this. Connect the gun mount that's going to hold the proton wand here. And then we will be done. After we do the paint job, we will do the decals, and this thing will be ready for a convention. For sure, it's going to be ready for the premiere of the Ghostbusters Afterlife in 2020 this year. I don't want to make any promises as to the electronics, but yeah, for sure, physically, I can go ahead and use it for anything Ghostbuster related, any events here in 2020. There's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of buzz for Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm pretty excited myself, and this thing is definitely going to be ready within the next few days. Electronics wise, I think I can do it. I think I can pull it off. There is a special feature I want to do with the electronics. It's been in my mind for the past 4 years, and I think it's possible. I really think it's possible. This is where the science is going to come in to see if my illusion, what I want to create, is going to be possible with the Proton 1 and the Proton Pack. So this is a very exciting time. Things are coming to fruition, and I think you guys are going to like it. Please let me know what you thought about this video. How excited are you guys to see the completion of this project? How excited are you guys for Ghostbusters Afterlife? Go ahead and leave your comments in the comments below. Like this video, share it, and this is going to be an incredible year. I can feel it. Okay, this has been 4 years in the making, not because it's taken that long to build it, but because we have overcome several issues in personal life and work. And this is the year. You know, I finally understand why it's taken so long. 2020, Ghostbusters Afterlife. You know, this is going to happen. All right. So thank you so much for checking up on Grazio Arts, and I will see you guys next time.